Hello, welcome to the Roy Rogers News Channel. Thank you so much for watching. Alright, today, for our next episode, we're going to discuss Magnezone. Now, before I dive into Magnezone, I should note that the advertiser that keeps the lights on here at the studio, well, we haven't heard from him in a while, and he was a used car salesman, then he was a resort owner, and now he is a hot air balloon eliminator. Let's go ahead and cut to our hot air balloon eliminator right now.
Hello, I'm Magnezone once more. And you may be wondering, man, where did that magnet guy go? Well, good question. I was chasing after a hot air balloon. Now, no, this place looks pretty ominous, but there was a hot air balloon I was chasing after. Don't worry. Oh, excuse me for one moment. That's the hot air balloon. Yeah, it's been making that sound for quite some time. I have to address this air balloon right now. Look. Alright, hot air balloon, say goodbye. Hot air balloon eliminator. Now, here's where the fun kicks in, huh? Oh. What? Why are you dragging me? Well, I don't think I'm very appreciative of me being dragged below. Now, prepare for trouble. Time to boogie. Oh yeah. Huh? What happened? You dare knock me out? Now it's time to bring in the big guns. Alright. Die! And that's Magnezone's air balloon elimination service. All right. I'm rated 5 stars by the PokeMMO Better Business Bureau. Excuse me, I have to cut back to that Roy Rogers guy, so if you don't mind, can you please talk to me another time? Thanks.
That's odd. That wasn't a hot air balloon. That was Giratina. Alright, strange things occur in the Pokemon world, don't they? Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into the competitive analysis for our friend Magnezone right now. And let's see how he actually performs in OU. Alright, so the tier for Magnezone is OU. Its typing is Electric and Steel. Its resistances are, and boy does it have a lot of resistances, Normal, Flying, Rock, Bug, Steel, Grass, Electric, Psychic, Ice, Dragon, Ghost, and Dark. And its weaknesses are Fighting and Fire, and it has a 4x weakness to Ground. And Magnezone has at least one immunity, Poison, unless you are holding a ring target. If this is the case, then poison attacks will make contact. Magnezone has excellent base stats here. So HP is 70, its attack is 70, its defense is 115, its special attack is 130, its special defense is 90, and its speed is 60. There is a reason why the most common variant for Magnezone needs to carry a Choice Scarf, but I can get to that a little later. So let's go ahead and dive into the 3 abilities, shall we? So the most common ability that you see on Magnezone is Magnet Pull. And what this ability does is that it prevents Steel types from escaping unless they are holding a Shed Shell. And Magnet Pull is the very reason why a lot of people run Magnezone, because you're having issues with Ferrothorn, Skymory, or Scizor. And then you have the second ability, Sturdy. That means that you cannot be knocked out with one hit. Now, some people like to equip a Cost-Up Berry to utilize the Sturdy ability. That is why a lot of people like to run Sturdy for that particular reason. So you can have some extra punch power. And then you have a hidden ability, which is Analytic, which boosts the move power when the Pokemon moves last. Now, Magnezone is a much better candidate for Analytic because Magnezone's base speed is 60. Magnezone is pretty slow, meaning that most of the time it moves right after, assuming that you're not carrying around a Choice Scarf, and also implying that you're not dealing with something like a Conkeldurr or a Reuniclus or a Cofagrigus. If you're not dealing with super slow targets, then Magnezone usually moves last. That is why Analytic Magnezone is so great. And the fact that it has a lot of resistances. Now, it should be noted here, as far as Analytic is concerned, as of the time of this taping, hidden abilities are not implemented yet, but if they are implemented, at least you could reference this video, and I think that an Analytic Magnezone can be of some use in the future. So feel free to invest in that if you want. And now let's go ahead and dive into the common variants and the not common variants of Magnezone. Before we do that, I would like to thank my proofreader Pachima for sorting these out. I really appreciate it. And Pachima has written a heartfelt letter as to why the Air Balloon variant of Magnezone is not included. So we need to give an honorable mention to the Air Balloon variant of Magnezone. Magnezone cannot trap Excadrill realistically. Pretty much Excadrill is always in sand. Even if it is not, Magnet Rise has a cooldown. Lastly, some Excadrills run Brick Break, and even if that fails, +2 Rock Slide can put a dent into Magnezone, especially if it flinches via repeated hits, stalling the Magnet Rise strat. In other words, it can be useful, but extremely inconsistent. Now, for anybody wondering what Magnet Rise does, Magnet Rise basically makes your ground type weaknesses not apply in the fight, because for a temporary number of turns, Magnezone is going to levitate above the ground because of Magnet Rise. But as Pachima noted here, the Magnet Rise strat on Magnezone is not realistic because due to a lot of fast-moving parts, as Pachima has alluded to here. So now let's go ahead and dive into the common and not common variants that are listed in the video here. So let's go and dive into the classic Metal Trapper. IVs are HP +25, attack doesn't matter, defense is +25, its special attack is 31, its special defense is +25, and its speed is 31. Its EVs are 6 HP, 252 special attack, and 252 speed. Its nature is timid, so plus speed minus attack. Its moves are Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Fire, and Flash Cannon. Its item is a Choice Scarf, and its ability is Magnet Pull. As I mentioned earlier in the video, Choice Scarf is needed on Magnezone. And the reason being is because what Choice Scarf does is that you get your speed stat boosted by +50%, but the cost of the Choice Scarf is that you're going to be locked on that one move unless you switch out. Now, the reason why you want Choice Scarf on Magnezone is because of Scizor. And Scizor is faster, because most Scizors are max attack, max speed, and Scizor's base speed is 65, and Magnezone's base speed is 60, so you need a speed advantage. Otherwise, Scizor can either use Superpower against you and knock you out, or Scizor can use U-Turn and get out of the Magnet Pull trap. That is why Choice Scarf is so useful on Magnezone, so you can be able to utilize the most out of your Magnezone. And let's go and chat about the moves, shall we? So, what Volt Switch does is that it allows you to pivot out of the battle. So Volt Switch is the special attacking equivalent of U-Turn, which does the exact same thing, except U-Turn is physical, bug type, Volt Switch is special, and electric type. In fact, There are some people that even utilize the Volt Turn Core. That's what they call it, where you combine Volt Switch and U-Turn. Do I think Magnezone is a candidate for that? It's an alright candidate for that. I would say opt for something like a Rotom Wash or Rotom Mow or a Jolteon if you want a true Volt Switcher. Magnezone is good for one niche, dealing with Steel types. Now there are other variants that are listed here, venture outside of that niche, but Magnezone's niche is dealing with Steel types. The Volt Switch should be noted here, that way you can be able to run it, just in case you want to switch out of the battle and scout your opponent a little bit. And then you have Thunderbolt. What Thunderbolt does is that it is a hard-hitting electric type attack, and it has a small chance to paralyze your opponent, and Thunderbolt is excellent for Scarm issues. And also it's good for things like Gyarados and Jellicent and all the other threats that are in OU, and also good for Togekiss, although be careful with Togekiss because Togekiss can run Aurora Sphere and knock you out since you are part Steel. And Thunderbolt's also good against Pelipper and Starmie, Cloyster, Coppeltops, and Milotic, but be careful against Coppeltops because Coppeltops can have the ability to retaliate, especially in rain, if it has the move Superpower. Also be careful against Milotic as well, because Milotic does have the ability to run Mirror Coat, and there's some variants that have special defensive bulk specifically to run Mirror Coat, so that way your Magnezone can be knocked out. Fun fact, I have done that with my Milotic, where I invest a little bit in special defense so I can knock out Jolteon, but the same thing can be done against Magnezone, so be careful. And then you have Hidden Power Fire, which is kind of the sticking point to this variant. So Thunderbolt and Hidden Power Fire are combined to make an excellent way to knock out Scarm, Scizor, and Ferrothorn. So that is why people like to run both Thunderbolt and Hidden Power Fire. And what Hidden Power Fire does is that Hidden Power, essentially, you can make it any type you want. It's a good special attack if you want to have more coverage. So Hidden Power Fire is excellent against Scizor. Any good hard-hitting fire type attack is good against Scizor. And then you have Flash Cannon, which is a hard-hitting steel type move that has a slight chance to lower down your opponent's special defense. And this is good if you want to hit things like Garchomp neutrally or Hydreigon neutrally. In fact, that's what I do when I see a Garchomp, because I know I can't use Volt Switch, because oftentimes what my opponent does is that goes into Garchomp most of the time. So I just use Flash Cannon if I see Garchomp in the team. Garchomp or any ground type Pokemon. Now if I see an Excadrill, I'll probably use Hidden Power Fire and switch out. But if I see a Garchomp, I use Flash Cannon so I can hit things hard. And hey, I can also hit Tyranitar while it is coming on the switch. So that way Tyranitar can be etched a little bit. Flash Cannon is good for general coverage. And then you have the second variant listed here, the Anti-Dragon UFO. And the IVs are HP plus 25, attack doesn't matter, defense is plus 25, special attack is 31, special defense is plus 25, its speed is 31. EVs are 6 HP, 252 special attack, and 252 speed. Its nature is modest, so plus special attack minus attack. Its moves are Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Hidden Power Ice, and you can either pick from Flash Cannon or Tri-Attack. Its item is a Cost Up Berry, and its ability is Sturdy. The Cost Up Berry, what it does is that if your Pokemon is at low health, then the Cost Up Berry activates, and you immediately go first. As I mentioned with the Skymory video, there is an exception to this rule, unless your opponent is faster and has the Cost Up Berry as well. So that is the exception to the rule. So if there's two Cost Up Berry users and both of you activated your Cost Up Berry, the faster target is going to get its Cost Up Berry activated first. But you don't usually see that occur, but I thought it should be noted there. I mentioned one new move, Tri-Attack. Now Tri-Attack is a hard-hitting special attack that is normal type, and benefit to having Tri-Attack is that you can either paralyze, burn, or freeze your opponent, and you can hit your opponent hard at the same time. In fact, that's why Porygon 2 oftentimes opts for Tri-Attack. so you don't have to carry Thunder Wave. But the only issue with Tri-Attack is that this is a normal type move. It doesn't really provide much coverage. That's the main issue with Tri-Attack. But otherwise, Tri-Attack is excellent to use on Magnezone. And now we have to dive into the uncommon variants. And there are a total of 4 Pokemon that are listed here in the uncommon variants. So you have the UFO Bluffer. And the IVs are HP plus 25, attack doesn't matter, defense is plus 25, special attack is 31, special defense is plus 25, and speed is 31. And its EVs are 6 HP, 252 special attack, and 252 speed. Its nature is modest, so plus special attack minus attack. And its moves are Flash Cannon, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, and either Hidden Power, Fire, or Ice. And its item is a Metal Coat, and its ability is Sturdy. What Metal Coat does is that if the item is being held, it will increase the power of Steel-type moves by plus 20%. That's why people like to carry Metal Coat. And the best thing about it is that there are some people that like to fool their opponent into thinking, I'm carrying a choice item because I'm using Flash Cannon a lot. You go in for the left hook, and you use Thunderbolt. Oftentimes when people think that you have a choice item, people are not really hesitant to go into Gyarados or something like that. The best thing about this Metal Coat variant is that you can be able to have your opponent go into Gyarados because your opponent thinks that you're carrying a choice item, so you're stuck on Flash Cannon, when in reality you can use Flash Cannon and then you can use Thunderbolt and knock out Gyarados. That's the benefit to running a UFO Bluffer. And then we have the UFO's Mirror, and the IVs are HP 31, attack doesn't matter, defense is 31, special attack is 31, special defense is 31, and speed is 31. Now, Pachima listed 3 different builds you can run on the UFO Mirror. Pachima would like to advise you to pick whichever variant fits your team the best. Build A is 252 HP, 252 special attack, and 6 speed, or Build B is 252 HP, 6 special attack, and 252 speed, or Build C is 252 HP, and then you split between special attack and speed, so 129 special attack and 129 speed. Its nature is timid, so plus speed minus attack, or modest, plus special attack minus attack. There's a lot of creativity you can run with this particular variant of Magnezone. And its moves are Mirror Coat, Thunderbolt, Flash Cannon, and Hidden Power Fire. Its item is Leftovers, and its ability is Sturdy. Now, Leftovers is an item that Magnezone can hold, and you recover health slightly every turn. Now, as for the moves, Mirror Coat, if your opponent uses a special attack against you, especially if your ability is Sturdy, meaning that you can't be knocked out in one hit. Let's just say you're facing up against a Reuniclus. One of the best surprises you can do on Reuniclus is the moment that Reuniclus does a Focus Blast, you could do Mirror Coat, and you can knock out Reuniclus. So that's the best part about a UFO's Mirror. Hey, it's even good in ranked teams because you can even knock out Kingdra. If Kingdra wants to use a hard-hitting special attack, then hey, you could be able to knock out Kingdra right there in the fight. So that's the best thing about this Magnezone. Or if you're having Kabutops issues, you can be able to use Thunderbolt if it's not a Mirror Coat issue. So you can mold that Magnezone to whatever you want it to look like. I am going to warn you, the slides are going to rotate since there are 4 sets in the not common variants, so switch right now. Alright, so for the third variant, you have the bulky UFO. The IVs are HP 31, attack doesn't matter, defense is 31, special attack is 31, special defense is 31, and speed is 31. Its EVs are 202 HP, 6 special attack, and 202 special defense. Its nature is calm, so plus special defense minus attack. Its moves are Toxic, Rest, Thunderbolt, and Flash Cannon. Its item is Leftovers, and its ability is Sturdy. Now that we have 2 new moves, let's go and discuss them, shall we? So, Rest. What does Rest do? Well, if your HP bar is not 100%, then you can be able to use Rest, go to sleep for 2 turns, and then you wake up the 3rd turn, then you can go back to attacking. You do have 2 turns of immobility, Sleep Talk, but that's not really good on Magnezone, because you do need the 4th slot for coverage. You need Thunderbolt and Flash Cannon for stab, but at least you can recover all your HP and continue to torture your opponent, implying that your opponent is heavily reliant on special attackers. And then you have Toxic. So essentially what Toxic does is that when you use Toxic on your opponent is badly poisoned, and the poison recoil increases every turn. Keep that in mind when you use Toxic. And this Magnezone variant is a stally Magnezone. This is why this Magnezone is built the way it is, because it is supposed to stall your opponent to death. Magnezone is part steel, so that means it can't be poisoned. And this is really good for your stall position. This Magnezone variant is good for the later fight. You can be able to corner your opponent, use a toxic move, and then just stall your opponent. And then for the very last variant of Magnezone, you have the Pharaoh Terror. And hence the name, this set is only usable against Ferrothorn. If you notice a sudden spike in Ferrothorn usability, use this set of Magnezone to shut it down. Not only shut it down, but also shut down your opponent's entire OU team, for certain exceptions. But I can get to that a little later. So the IVs are HP plus 25, attack doesn't matter, defense is plus 25, special attack is 31, special defense is 25, and its speed is 31. Its EVs are 6 HP, 252 special attack, and 252 speed. Its nature is timid, so plus speed minus attack. And its moves are Substitute, Flash Cannon, Agility, and Charge Beam. Its item is Leftovers, and its ability is Magnet Pull. I need to discuss 3 new moves. What Agility does is that it boosts your speed stat by +2. What Charge Beam does is that it's an electric type special attack move, and it does have a chance to boost your special attack by +1. And as for Substitute, what Substitute does is that at the cost of some of your HP, you are able to put a little teddy bear on your side of the field, and then the teddy bear takes the brunt of the damage unless your opponent has Hyper Voice or Bug Buzz, which penetrates through the teddy bear, or unless your opponent has a multi-hit move that knocks you out, like Icicle Spear or Rock Blast. You don't have to worry about that because Magnezone is part steel and it resists those types anyways, but I thought it should be noted. Now, Pharaoh Terror. Why is Pharaoh Terror so good to use against Ferrothorn? Well, hence the name, Ferrothorn gets trapped in this scenario. Now, you might be thinking, but Roy, this Magnezone is a perfect candidate to be leech seeded, right? Keep in mind that this Magnezone has the move Substitute, so it uses Substitute right from the get-go, the moment that Ferrothorn traps the Magnezone. But I like to let Ferrothorn knock something out, say Ferrothorn feels comfortable, and then I pop in Magnezone, and here's my general strat. So I do sub, so that way I don't get leech seeded, and then I use Agility. And then every time my sub breaks, I go into another Substitute. And Magnezone has Leftovers, so I can be able to recover per turn that Ferrothorn tries to knock me out. So after I boost my speed stat by +6, then, meaning that I use 3 agilities, then what I do is then I start using Charge Beam. I know that Charge Beam Ferrothorn is resistant to, but if I can boost that special attack by +6, then I can essentially start sweeping with my Flash Cannons, and even with Charge Beam if the time calls for it, like Gyarados for example, or hey, Milotic. This Magnezone has a dominance over the field, and this is a very niche Magnezone. Only use it if Ferrothorn is having a high level of usage. If you're a Ferrothorn user, and if you're terrified of this variant of Magnezone, maybe you should teach your Ferrothorn Bulldoze, so that way you're not vulnerable to this variant. This variant gets completely destroyed by Bulldoze. This takes the whole I hate Ferrothorn to the absolute max in case you want to really do a number to your opponent's team. This is an excellent way to do it. And Magnezone has a great typing. It's resistant to a lot of different types. And with that, let's go ahead and close out the computer here. And before I sign out, I would like to mention a tool that BlueNose has constructed, PokeMMO Egg Move Tool. And this tool is not going to be useful for Magnezone. The Magnezone is going to pop up though, but it's not going to be useful since Magnezone has no egg move, since it is a genderless breed. And just like Starmie, breeding up a Magnezone is pretty expensive, since the only way to breed a Magnezone is either by Ditto breeding or by breeding with itself or pre-evolutions of itself. So Magnezone is a very expensive Pokemon to breed up, but hey, is it worth it? Oh yeah, I would say it's worth it. And as I mentioned in the Gyarados video, the reason why I don't like to use the Magnezone character too much is because I don't want to exhaust it. But hey, this is the Magnezone episode, so why not reintroduce the Magnezone character in the Magnezone episode? And with that, let's go ahead and sign off of the competitive analysis series. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Roy Rogers News Channel. Don't forget to comment and subscribe to the channel, like the content that you see here. And this is the Roy Rogers News Channel signing off. Fast, accurate, unbiased, Roy Rogers News.